All right, here is part 2. This is where we left off on this problem 10-51 with the 8-inch dinner plate making a chord, and we're looking for the diameter. Really what I've done here is I said I had that 8-inch chord and I cut it using a perpendicular bisector. That perpendicular bisector is also the diameter, and so that 8 got split into 4 and 4, and I have used inscribed angles here to figure out that I can use these right triangles and I can solve for x and for y, and if I add x plus y, I will have my total diameter. So the next step here is to solve for x. I have a 30-degree angle. Well, one, I have a right triangle, and I have a 30-degree angle. The opposite side is 4. The adjacent side here is x. So opposite adjacent tells me that's going to be a tangent problem, and we can start trying to solve it. So the tangent of 30 equals the opposite, which is 4, over the adjacent, which is x. Put the tangent over 1, cross multiply. 1 times 4 gives you 4. The tangent of 30 times x gives you tangent of 30 times x. And then to get x by itself, we just divide by the tangent of 30 on both sides so that they cancel here, and the tangent of 30 over here. Now I just need to bring out my calculator, and I can say x is equal to, 4 divided by the tangent of 30 gives me 6.93 as a length there for x. Now I just got to go back up, solve for y. If I look at this problem here, I have a 60-degree angle. Opposite is 4. Y is adjacent. So again, it's going to be a tangent problem. And so I do the tangent of 60 this time equals the opposite being 4 and y being the adjacent. So 4 over y, opposite over adjacent. Tangent of 60 over 1, cross multiply, very similar here. 1 times 4 is 4. Tangent of 60 times y is tangent of 60 times y. And I divide by tangent of 60 now. So that these cancel, I divide over here by the tangent of 60. Now I can do 4 divided by the tangent of 60, and that gives me an answer that y is equal to 2.31. So I have my x and my y. I can add those together. That would be 6.93. Yep, 6.93 plus 2.31, and so my diameter is equal to whatever that is, and 6.93 plus 2.31 gives me an answer of 9.24 for my diameter. That problem took me a while to figure out, so I'm going to make sure when I write about this that I get everybody to watch the video. That idea is not an easy one, with first of all, thinking like, well, I got to get that perpendicular bisector diameter, then create these triangles to get inscribed angles, and then cutting that inscribed angle so you just use the right triangle. Takes a little bit of work, but it involves a lot of good geometry there, so I definitely didn't want to take that one out. We'll move on to the last one now, though, for time reasons. Not too bad of a problem here. So we have a cylindrical block of cheese that has, the entire block has 6-inch diameter and has a height or a thickness of 2 inches. After a party, only a sector remains that has a central angle of 45 degrees. So we want to find the volume of the cheese that remains. So we just want to find the volume of this little slice that remains. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the volume of the entire wheel of cheese, and then we are just going to multiply it by that portion, that 45 out of 360, and we'll have our answer. When I'm looking for volume of a three-dimensional shape, especially when it's a rectangular prism or a cylindrical block or whatever it might be, I always like to find the area of the base and then multiply it by the height. Since this is a circle, I can find the area of that circle, then multiply it by that height of 2. So if we're talking area of a circle is equal to pi times the radius squared. We know the diameter is equal to 6 inches, which means the radius is equal to 3. because radius is always half the diameter. So I can actually find the area of that circle, and so I get pi times 3 squared, because 3 was my radius. That gives me 9 pi. That's the area of this entire circle. I can take that area, multiply it by the height, which the height is 2. So volume is going to end up being that 9 pi times 2 for the height. And so volume is equal to 18 pi. So now I have the volume of the entire wheel of cheese, the entire cylindrical block of cheese, but we just want that portion, that 45-degree portion. So we're going to take 18 pi, and we're going to multiply it by the portion 45 out of 360. And if I multiply this correctly, I will get that correct just sector volume. I'm going to call it SV for sector volume. I don't think that's the right way to say that, but that's all right. I'm just plugging this in my calculator. 18 pi times 45 divided by 360. I get a decimal that is 7.07, and I believe this is going to be inches cubed because it is, well, 1, it's a volume, so it's inches cubed, and I think we're working with inches this whole time here. Yep, 2 inches, 6 inches. And then that would be our answer for the volume of that sector, 7.07. We've done somewhat of a problem like this on a homework or in a different lesson, just finding that volume of the entire thing and then multiplying it by that sector. I cut out 53. Take a look here at or maybe you have to open up your ebook for a second, but the idea of a circumcenter, we talked about that, and circumscribes and inscribes. It's just a nice little review, kind of to wrap up circles here. I don't think we'll really see too much more, maybe a couple times in homework or something, too much more of circles. But that's it for this video. If you have any questions, be sure to email me.